Cinema. Welcome back to War with Cinema. I'm your host, Greg, your local metalhead, and with me is...
Par the Collector. What's up, everybody?
And I chose The Cable Guy.
Jim Carrey.
1996, directed by Ben Stiller. I felt like I knew that at one point, but forgot.
Yeah.
And before I hit record, I told you it was produced by
Judd Apatow.
Judd Apatow.
Which
I did not know at all.
Well, now looking back, if you notice most movies that he's got something to do with, Leslie Mann's in them.
Yeah,
Shocker.
exactly.
He might put my wife in a couple scenes.
So you gave me Death to Smoochie, which was like a dark comedy. And so it got me thinking about this movie. And I was like, this is one, it was successful financially. Like, we don't do the box office much anymore, but budget, $47 million. A gross worldwide, 102. Domestically was 60 million, which is kind of a flop for a Jim Carrey movie.
I was going to say,
at this time.
It's still crazy to me to think that it was used to cost $50 million to make a comedy.
Yeah, right.
You know
That's a
what I mean?
lot of money.
Because Death to Smoochie, the budget was 50-something million.
Yeah, but now
it had a whole cast. I mean, this probably all went to Jim Carrey.
$20 million.
Yeah, that makes
went
sense.
to Jim Carrey because
he wasn't quite there yet, like as far as like getting the big time money.
Yeah, he was. This was a record for most paid actor at the time.
Yeah, that's what I'm
million.
saying. But like he got 65 for The Grinch.
Well, yeah.
And Yes Man, he got 60 million, bro.
Yeah.
Like he started getting up there.
Yeah.
But for the times, you're right. He was the highest paid, especially comedians or comedy actors.
Yeah,
for sure.
So this is a movie that I watched as a kid. I had the VHS and I watched it a lot. Yeah. I really liked this movie. And I realized as an adult, it's because it was a satire of movies that I really like thrillers and like, what was that one? Cape Fear.
Yeah.
This is like a satire of Cape Fear.
Yeah, kind of.
So
Subject matter's not quite as dark, but yeah, I get what you're saying.
Yeah. But so I loved this movie. I watched it over and over. I haven't seen it in a very, very long time. So it was like super nostalgia to rewatch this.
You know, it made me realize how much I miss young Jack Black. Like,
right.
Just because, like, I don't like Jack Black as a main character, like, all through the movie. Like, it can't be a bad Jack Black movie, except for School of Rock. That goes hard. But, yeah, like, that's just, like, the purple amount of Jack Black. You just sprinkle him in.
But he was a straight man in this. He was not the comedy relief at all.
No. But it actually showed that he could act, too, at one point.
This is true, yeah.
Not just do the shibbity-dooby-doo.
Yeah.
You know,
his Jack Blackisms.
Yes, exactly. The other movie I really like him in is Saving Silverman. That's like my favorite Jack Black movie. It's like the perfect amount of Jack Black in that one. And he's doing all the funny shit. Him and Steve Zahn are the best part of that movie.
I know you don't like it, but Tenacious D.
No, I get it, man. I mean, I'm not hating on it. Like, people love Tenacious D, and it's just not my bag of gag, dude. And I like some spoof music, man. Like, I like fucking Lonely Island. Like, I think they're funny as shit, but like they also get like big time cameos to be in their songs and stuff. And this is just two dudes, you know, having a good time.
So fucking funny.
Some of their, like, the show on HBO, like a couple of those were funny. I like that. But
I was talking about the movie Pick of Destiny.
I just wasn't a big fan of the movie.
I know most people aren't. I know it's like not great at all, but it makes me laugh. How do you feel about Matthew Broderick?
I am a big Matthew Broderick fan.
Are you?
I love Ferris Bueller. You want to talk about nostalgic loves for movies? I could watch Ferris Bueller's Day Off every day of my life.
Really?
I love that because when I was a kid, it was like Ferris Bueller was the coolest motherfucker ever. Like, he got away with everything, dude. Like, he was the kid you wanted to be. He just was popular. Everybody loved him, and he could sell ice to Eskimos. Like,
okay, but other than that, what else has he done that you really like?
War Games. War Games is amazing. The little movie, it's not as good now. I watched it not too long ago. Was Election with him and Reese Witherspoon. He's good in that, even though it's kind of a, I don't know. I liked him in Godzilla. I was 11 when Godzilla came out, so I was super
Everyone
excited.
hates on Godzilla, but I'm like, I kind of liked it.
Jurassic Park 4.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, that was what it was, pretty much.
Speaking of, side note, there is a dinosaur movie coming out. I think it's called like 36 or 69 or something like that. It's just a number. And it's not called Jurassic something.
Right.
And I appreciate that. Thank you, Hollywood. Give me a dinosaur movie without calling it Jurassic something.
You know what's crazy is a lot of B movies they put dinosaurs. Like I saw one, it's Nazis versus dinosaurs or some shit like that, or the Nazis were riding dinosaurs. I don't remember. It was a clip I saw on YouTube, and I was just like, "Who made this?"
There's a lot of them out there. This one has a big fucking budget though. This guy crash lands on a like planet, some random planet that he doesn't know what it is, but apparently it's like full of dinosaurs. But he has all this like futuristic technology while he's like roaming this.
So it's pretty much Turok.
I mean, yeah, but
That's
it
awesome.
looks fucking badass, and I'm excited because it's not just another Jurassic Park like fucking money grab.
Right.
But anyway, I'll get off that. So how was your reviewing of this movie? When is the last time you saw this?
One more thing about Matthew Broderick. I loved him in War Games too.
You said that already.
Yeah. Oh, okay. That was a good movie. We did that movie, didn't we?
No.
No?
Mm-mm.
I thought we did.
Nope.
We should.
You can.
It's a good one. Yeah, I'm telling you my biggest thing, and it kind of fucked with me the whole viewing.
Okay.
I hate his lisp in this movie. It gets irritating as shit.
Some people can't help it.
No, I get it, but like we know he doesn't have one. So it's like, why did you go with that choice, bro?
It makes it a little more sympathetic. You almost feel bad for him.
No,
because he doesn't even like that he has a lisp. In the beginning of the movie, he's like, I'm a perfectionist.
He gets him the tape.
Yeah.
On how to lose your lisp.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I don't know, man. If that was if they wanted to make it more sympathetic, then they should have just made him a straight up like handicapped person or something. You know.
Jesus Christ.
I don't know. I'm
just come in with a wheelchair, like, I'm here to
know.
fix your cable.
No, it got on my nerves, man.
It helped me not see Jim Carrey. Like, I saw the cable guy.
Pretty sweet.
Yeah. I just noticed in the IMDb credit, he's labeled as the cable guy because he never gives a real name.
Right.
I forgot.
You hear like 35 names that it could be. Like,
Yeah.
But yeah, it's funny because it makes me think back to like when cable guys were a thing.
Yeah.
Like having to sit at your house all fucking day
Fuck your
and wait
mom.
on them and stuff. Like,
Mm-hmm.
what? You just slipped that in there, dude.
Anytime I think of a handyman, like a cable guy, fucking plumber,
I'm here to
pull-
unclog your pipes.
they don't actually get any work done except on your mom.
That's fucked up. But yeah, I remember like it kind of gave me like a couple memories that I forgot about.
Mm-hmm.
Because when we were kids, my dad had the illegal card, so we had like all the channels.
Right.
And I think that's how I ended up seeing this movie because my parents weren't taking me to see shit like this in '96.
I think I saw this in theaters because Jim Carrey was like I was a huge Jim Carrey fan when I was a kid.
My dad liked Jim Carrey a lot too. We owned Ace Ventura on VHS, and I watched that bitch.
I wore that bitch out.
Me too. We probably had 2 tapes because that's how much I watched it.
Right.
So when this movie came out, like I wanted to see it, but my dad was like, "Nah, like that looks dumb as shit."
Mm-hmm.
So I think it was on one of those like premium channels that we got for free, and that's where we ended up watching it.
I think it was one of those times my dad was like nervous. Like now that thinking back on it, like he was nervous about letting me watch it because he knew it was kind of dark. He's like, I don't know if this like kid friendly, but it's not too bad.
I couldn't remember if it was PG-13 or R, but I think it is PG-13.
Yeah, because PG-13 because it rides that line of being dark humor, but it's not too dark that kids can't see it. It's just really like uncomfortable.
Right. Well, I mean, like I said, and it's kind of marketed like it's just a regular Jim Carrey comedy.
Yeah, the trailer.
Then once you watch it, that's when you start like.
Yeah, they hoodwinked audiences in this one.
Yeah, and I think that's why a lot of people were kind of off put by it.
Well, that's the thing is this has like a small cult following, but I think it deserves a serious, recognition because it is a great movie, and I still laugh to this day out loud at this movie.
Oh, my buddy Paul, remember the 80s and 90s on TikTok? Shout out to him. He loves this movie. He puts clips from it up all the time on TikTok.
I don't know why I haven't watched this more as an adult because after rewatching it, I was like, I fucking love this movie.
When people talk about like underrated Jim Carrey movies, this movie gets brought up and that other bullshit you love so much.
Man on the Moon?
No.
Majestic?
Jesus, you're breaking up all the bad ones, bro. What's the one that you love? I don't even remember all the fucking
Eternal
names.
Sunshine of the
There it
Spotless-
is. There it is.
That
The
is not an
longest-
underrated movie at
Eternal
all.
Sunshine of the longest movie name ever. Yes, I know. You love it. And then my buddy Jamie last night, we were talking about it too, because he was like, what movie y'all doing this week? I was like, Cable Guy. He was like, oh man. He's like, Cable Guy's a classic.
Mm-hmm.
He's like, that's the second best movie behind that bullshit. And I was like, man, I'm gonna hang up on you. Like, don't say shit like that.
It
Dude.
sounds like me and him should be friends.
Yeah,
like-
dude. Y'all should do a podcast together.
Right.
We call it Dumbass Jim Carrey movies we love. And then just you two wearing Jim Carrey shirts.
So you want to get into the fucking
Yeah, we'll
movie?
get into the
Let's talk
actual
into the
movie.
actual movie.
Yeah, go for it.
So Matthew Broderick asked his girlfriend to marry him, and she kicked him out.
Yeah. And now he's in like a little shitty single dad apartment.
Right. And the reason I love this opening scene is because he's waiting on the Cable Guy like you do. They're like 8 o'clock until the end of time.
Mm-hmm.
And so, of course, as he's taking a shower, he puts soap in his hair and you hear the Cable Guy. But this is so brilliant because Jim Carrey's a well-known person at this time.
Mm.
So having him off camera and you just hear him screaming Cable Guy, like you get excited and it's fucking hilarious. Yeah, Cable Guy gets there and we meet the Cable Guy. I forgot what he called himself for the longest time. He changed his name.
Isn't it Larry?
No, maybe.
Or Larry's like the last one? I don't remember.
Ricky Ricardo.
Maybe.
No.
But he keeps using like TV names and shit, doesn't he?
Mhm. Yeah, TV.
The older TV names.
Right. So yeah, he's kind of creepy. He goes through and
Well, at first he's like, oh, he's a nice guy, but he's kind of annoying. And
Yeah.
like that's when I think it's before that, isn't it? When Jack Black tells him to get him if you hook him up with like an extra $50, they'll give you the premium shit
Right.
for free. Which I didn't want to. I wanted to wait a little bit until we got into the episode, but it reminded me of a episode that I had with a Cable Guy
Mhm.
about the same type of situation. But anyways, he's like Matthew Broderick. That's like one of my favorite things in the movie. He's like, hey, if I slid you like an extra 50, you think you could hook me up with the Skinamax and shit like that? And he was
Yeah.
just like, are you asking me to commit a felony? I take my job very seriously. I'm just fucking with you. That's probably that's one of the best laughs I got of this.
So I learned something recently. So we had cable when we were kids. You know, they had the scramble channels, right?
Mhm.
And obviously you could pay a Cable Guy and they would give you the box and you would have all the channels. Did you ever get a phone call where the cable company was like, hey, we're just doing a routine check to check everyone's cable. Can you flip to channel to see if you get a clear picture? Did you ever get those calls? Do you remember them? Do you know what I'm talking about?
No, we weren't allowed to answer the phone when we were kids.
Okay. Well, we answered the phone and I would get those calls because I remember them as a kid. And I was like, oh, that's really nice that they're doing courtesy calls to make sure everyone's cable. Well, you know what they were actually doing?
Seeing if you had shit.
Seeing
you
if you
weren't
had
supposed to.
illegal cable.
That's funny. It says your home doesn't have cable.
Yeah.
But yeah, we when we first moved back to Lakeland, the house we were in, the people that lived there before had hooked up illegal cable.
Mm-hmm.
And it was just a wire that went out to the power pole. And my dad was like, yep, that's it right there. And he was like, fuck it. Save me $50 because I was going to have to get y'all cable anyway. So
Right.
we had, at the time it was whatever it was. But
Mhm.
I remember we had like a storm and a branch fell off a tree and took the cable.
Oh,
but we
man.
had no TV. I was like, Dad, what the fuck?
That's like, he has like duct tape out there tying the fucking cords together.
The same people, I think it was old people, because they left this 1920s box TV there, dude. It was
Are you
like,
sure they didn't die there?
maybe. I mean, who knows? I mean, my dad was,
I remember those big boxy because we had a Zenith.
it was like a table too. Like it
Yeah,
was
yeah.
literally like the heaviest
Oh yeah,
thing
you
I've
had
ever-
things on top of it. Like it was a fucking decoration piece.
Right. It had old worn out wheels underneath it,
Mhm.
but it was just stuck in the corner of my room that I got. And they were like, you want us to get you another TV? And I was like, fuck it. This one will work, I remember it didn't even have fucking a remote. I had to go pull the fucking thing and push the
Mhm.
fucking buttons.
Because when I was a kid, we sat on the floor,
Yep.
and it's not because it was more comfortable. It's because it was closer to the TV. So if you needed to change a channel, you could just reach up and.
Mhm. Yeah, I don't think it was a twist one. I think it was like the last gen of that shit. Because I remember it had like buttons that you would it had up and down and the volume up and down. That was it.
Interesting.
But yeah, anyways, so we didn't have cable, but that wasn't the story I wanted to tell. When me and my wife first moved in together, you know, I was only 19, 20 years old, and we didn't have kids or anything, so we would just smoke pot out in the living room. You know, we didn't have anybody to like come over and be like, oh, what are y'all doing in here? You know, it was like the first time we had both lived out on our own.
I mean, that's what you do, yeah.
Right. So like when we moved into the place that we needed cable. So it was like in the early days of Bright House, bro, where like you could get a guy in there. And, you know, I'm thinking about it, like, if you think about back then, like the amount of power these fucking guys have.
Oh, yeah.
Because like he flexes it a lot in this movie, man. Everybody wants free cable, you know, or better cable or whatever. You know, everybody wants to have that inside thing.
Yeah.
So this dude's there, he's hooking up, and we had a bong sitting out on the table, and he looked over at it. He was like, you like to partake in the in the greenery? And I was like, yeah, no, it's a fucking vase. Bitch. Right. Yeah. He's like, you know, man, if you let me take a couple puffs off that bad boy, I hook you up with all the movie channels for free. He's like, Bright House may find out about it and cut you off. He's like, you'll probably get at least a month out of it. I was like, fucking bro, rip up, dude. So he fucking hits that shit, you know. He's like, that's the thing. He's like, appreciate you, man. He's like, that was good shit, man. He's like, if I'm ever around, man, you think I could pop in? I'm like,
no.
I'm thinking to myself, like, yeah, bro, what are the fucking chances I'll see this guy again? I was like, yeah, man, stop in.
So you had a real cable guy.
So crazy thing is, everybody in my fucking building had Bright House. So I saw this guy like every other fucking day, dude. And he would just knock on the fucking door. Hey, man, what's up? And then like, when they would cut the movies off, he'd come by and he'd be like, they cut your movies off. You want me to turn them back on? Let me hear that. And like, it was like a whole thing for like a month.
Holy shit. That's fucking hilarious.
And eventually I told my wife, I was like, don't answer the fucking door of this guy. Like, nobody knocks on this door before noon. So if you hear a knock, just fucking act like we're not here. But yeah, it was like it was kind of like a thing. I mean, he wasn't a bad guy or whatever. He was just a fucking piehead, dude. Like,
I mean,
hits for free cable. That's how I looked at it. Like,
yeah.
But I didn't get free cable. I just got movie channels.
Right.
And like sports and shit like that.
Well, you got shit that you didn't have to pay for.
Very true. So, I mean, it wasn't quite as deep as this, but it made me think of it when I was watching this.
It could have very well. Like, he could have got very creepy.
Oh, no, I got guns and shit. I would have just been like, bitch, I will shoot you in the face if you come back here.
He shows up at your job like, hey, man.
Oh, God, dude. That's like the worst.
That's hilarious, though.
But yeah, like, I was just like, what in the world, dude? I don't know why I didn't think about it. Like, but I watched this, it made me think of it.
Yeah. You could have had like a best friend or whatever. You guys could have like hung out. If
he could have kept it to where it never went away, and I could have just been watching free shit forever, then yeah, I probably would have kept him on the squad, you know. But it never was a permanent fix.
I see.
And I was just like, it's not worth losing fucking $10 in weed every time this guy's around. Like, that's how bad it was. Like, I didn't even know his name. Like, he told me like 4 different times. I'm just like, cable guy.
Yeah, cable guy. That is fucking hilarious.
But yeah, so it was kind of like one of those, like, it hits home when I watched this.
So one of the scenes from this movie like has stuck with me and lives rent free in my brain for most of my life. And it is oh my God, medieval times. God damn it.
Yeah, I didn't want to just jump to that, but like that is my favorite scene of this whole.
I forgot about
movie.
the basketball scene. It does come before that, but we could tell. I learned a fun fact about the basketball scene anyway. I know you're into basketball. Did you ever have a guy do that? Just walk in and play
like
with
it's
you
just
guy?
a friendly pickup game, and he's like a fucking menace.
Yeah.
Yes, there's always, if you go to a court that's not your court, that always happens. There's one dude that looks like, you can always kind of spot them because they got their shit, like, they got official gear. They're out there stretching, doing fucking suicides before the game.
So this is a real thing. Like,
oh, yeah, it's like, they call him a tryhard. He's a tryhard in basketball. Like, he wants to be picked up. Like, he knows nobody's going to pick him, so he's the first one. I got down. I'm next up. Because he's going to pick his own team. And he's going to not pick anybody that didn't pick him.
Well, that's the thing about this character is when I watched it as a kid, I was like, wow, this is a really creepy, weird character. As an adult, I know a handful of these fucking guys.
Oh, yeah. And that's the sad part about it is like, doesn't necessarily have to be a bad person. Some people just get on your fucking nerves, man.
Yeah.
And you know what I mean? Like, they're not doing anything. Like, it's not anything that they're doing wrong. It's just, you're just like, man, this guy.
Y'all don't vibe together.
Exactly. It's just like, bro, you just get on my fucking nerves, dude.
Mm-hmm.
And that doesn't make them bad people, but like,
Yeah.
and that's another thing that Matthew Broderick does a good job of showing, that most people will rather be inconvenienced than just be like, look, dude, nothing against you, but I just don't fucking like you.
Yeah, it had to take some serious
It had
things
to
to happen to him for him
exactly.
to be like, I don't want to be your friend.
Yeah, it had to get to like level 5 type shit, like level red type
Yeah,
shit.
and it's true though. There have been times where I'm like, I don't want to be mean, so I guess I'll just hang out with this person until like.
I know. I mean, I've had that happen to me.
Mhm.
Like in the last couple of years, I had to get rid of people. Like,
But you're a friendly guy. Like, you look scary, but once you get to know you, you want everyone to be your friend, but then you're like, can you go away?
no, that's the thing. Like, I don't make friends to get rid of them.
Yeah,
You know
yeah,
what
yeah.
I mean? But like, I don't feel like, I don't know. I only have a few things that's just like, I can't come back from that. You know what I mean? Like, we can argue, we can disagree on shit or whatever, but like, there's just certain lines that like I don't think you should ever cross as a friend.
Right.
And if you cross one of them, like, I just like, no power, go on about your life. You know what I'm saying? But like,
Mhm.
just don't fuck with me no more. Because like I'm trying really hard not to go to prison for life.
Yeah.
But yeah, but that's the thing. Like, I don't ever want to have to be that guy. Like, I want to be cool with everybody.
Right.
I like being liked. And I didn't used to be like that. When I was younger. But now it's like getting to that point. When I have kids, that kind of makes you think about the kind of person
It does.
you are.
Because you realize you actually have real consequences
And
that can affect your life.
And I believe in karma. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? If you're a terrible fucking person, like, I don't believe good things are coming to you.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, it
Mhm.
may take a while, but eventually you'll
It's
get
gonna catch
you'll
up.
get it, yeah. And that's kind of how I view friendship, like, to a certain extent. Like, as long as the parameters are set and everybody knows where it is, like, there's no reason we can't be friends forever.
Yeah.
And I'm friends with people that are very different from me, man.
Mhm.
But it's just that level of respect. And when I don't feel like you have that for me, I'm not going to give it to you anymore. And that's the problem. Sometimes, like, you have to be that asshole and be like, yo, fuck off. Like,
Yeah, definitely. And that's what Matthew Broderick could have done in this movie. Because
but because he couldn't, it kept getting worse and worse.
yeah, he was
But-
being like way too passive and nice and everything. But about the basketball scene, so his stunt double, Jim Carrey's stunt double, went to do the slam dunk and the glass broke the wrong way. And it like went all over the stunt double. And it didn't hurt him, but because it went so wrong, they fired the stunt guy immediately. Like right after the scene, they're like, "You're fired."
Wow.
Yeah.
It's not his fault.
It was because he was supposed to be not the stunt double, the guy that like the stunt coordinator.
Oh, okay. That's where you had me confused.
Yeah.
But yeah,
I just thought that was pretty funny because
but yeah,
it's a
dude,
great scene though. It looks great.
So, you're his best friend, huh? He like takes the goggles. Do this. He's just fucking setting picks, crushing dudes. I used to love that shit though, because I played football. That was my thing forever, So like that's kind of like how you let people know, like, yeah, I ain't a basketball player, bitch. I'm here to plant your ass on the fucking ground.
Right.
And but yeah, it's a great scene, man.
So he does get a little too close with him, and Matthew Broderick lets him into his life and tells him about his ex and everything like that. And he does give him some sound advice, and you're like, damn, maybe the cable guy's not so bad after all. He's giving some respectable advice.
Right.
So Leslie Mann comes over, and they are gonna go watch a movie, and the fucking cable's cut out. And so he calls him because he gives him his fucking pager. And he's like, "Can you turn my cable on?" He's like, you see, you always come around when you want something.
Yeah. Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. Like that's what I said. Like during that time period, your cable guy kind of had you like at the
By the
mercy.
balls, yeah.
Yeah. Because I mean, we don't know how that shit works,
Right, exactly. It's not like I can hook up my own cable.
Right.
Gotta have the little tools.
And it's just even creepier because the dude was like in the building,
Yeah. He was right
turning
there.
that bitch off and on.
Yeah.
Like, and that's just adds another layer of creepiness. And like Jim Carrey, it shows how talented he is, because as funny as he is, man, you could tell that there's some
Darkness within.
Yes. And he lets it out just a little bit in this movie, dude.
Yeah.
And it's like 5%. It's still scary as shit.
Mhm.
Like,
That's the thing about, I think that's why this movie didn't work for a lot of people, is because we saw Ace Ventura The Mask, and there was something else that came out before this, but it like set up his career. And we're like, this is Jim Carrey, and this was the first movie where it's like, oh, we see a little bit of darkness in Jim Carrey, and kind of caught people by surprise.
Also, shout out to George Segal. I love him.
Yeah, as the dad. Yeah, he's great.
Like when Matthew Broderick's having the nightmare and Jim Carrey's at the end of the hallway and he does that run thing. I just remember being a kid and being like, this isn't the Jim Carrey I watched.
Yeah. It is very creepy, but I liked it. Like there was something about the movie that I really, really like connected with.
Right. No, don't get me wrong. There's still enough fun.
Yeah.
That
it wasn't too much to take me away from the movie.
Right. But yeah, and I love how like Ben Stiller, like, you know, he always puts himself in the movies and shit, but he plays like the Menudo.
This is so
Menendez
fucking funny.
brothers.
It's like a background skit, and it's fucking hilarious.
I think it was it took me 2 or 3 times watching this as a kid before I realized that was Ben Stiller playing the twins.
Yeah.
And I was just like, oh my God, that's funny.
Well, I think as a kid, this is before I knew who Ben Stiller really was.
Right. He didn't do much
right. But you go back and you watch as an adult when you've seen Ben Stiller's fucking career, and it's fucking hilarious.
Oh, yeah.
It's so fucking funny.
You know what's weird is when I got older and I was able to get movies like that, like I went back and watched a lot of Ben Stiller's old shit, like Flirting with Disaster. That is a fucking wild ass movie, dude.
Is it?
I might pick that one day because it's a comedy, but
I don't think I've ever seen it.
It's fucking so crazy, dude. Like Ben Stiller plays a guy that's trying to find out who his biological parents are.
Mm-hmm.
Like he's adopted, and David Arquette or Patricia Arquette plays his wife, and they have like a baby. Anyways, and it's just about him going to all these people, like trying to find out who his real parents are, and it's just a fucking wild ass movie, dude. Like so much crazy shit happens, like, and I don't know. I don't want to give too much away if you ever watch it, but like it's really good.
Yeah,
and it's got a bunch of people in it.
Yeah, he has a weird sense of humor. Because one of my favorite comedies of all time, Tropic Thunder.
I knew you were gonna say that
because it's amazing, and I love that movie.
Watching Robert Downey Jr. talk about the making of that movie is crazy as shit too.
Yeah,
he was like, and even Jamie Foxx. I've seen Jamie Foxx talk about it, and they were like, "I need you to." He's like, when I asked Robert, he's like, I need you to play a Mexican. He's like, all right, first of all, I said, fuck it. Because like Jamie Foxx could do anybody's impression.
Right.
But even Robert Downey Jr., he's like, 90% of the black friends I have, they were okay with it. They laughed. He's like, but when I was making it, I kept thinking, how are we not going to get panned?
Right.
This is going to be the most hated. He's like, they're not going to let me play Iron Man anymore. Like, that's how bad this is going to be. He's like, but Ben knew what he was doing.
Yes.
Ben had full control of it. He's like, I still think it's great. He's like, people, you know, obviously I did it, but like, he's like, I don't regret doing it. He's like, I still think it's funny as shit.
It's one of the funniest movies ever made.
It is. I mean, I don't know if it's one of the funniest. I don't think it's one of the funniest, but it does have some spots that are fucking great.
No, it does not. It does not stop making me laugh. Like, it's one of those movies I have to pause just to get the fucking laughter out.
You know who really surprises me about how funny they are in that movie is Matthew McConaughey.
Yeah,
I love him in that as the agent.
They're fucking
Tom
Cruise.
Cruise. Yes,
I was like, that's the most surprising.
I was gonna say that too. Yeah, I forget about that. But yeah, Tom Cruise. It was really the side characters. Like the whole movie itself is just a fucking like
it's so crazy.
It's a movie within a movie within a movie.
Yeah,
it's like a complete mind fuck, but it's funny as shit. Like
we'll have to do that one day this year.
Yeah, we probably will.
I love that movie. But back to fucking Cable Guy.
Yeah, sorry.
What I was gonna get to is because I wanted to get to the medieval times.
Oh yeah, for
he's
sure.
like, I'll turn your cable on if you hang out with me. He's like, fine, whatever. He's like, come to medieval times, and so they go to medieval times, and this fucking I don't have anything important to say except I love this scene, and yes. I never been to medieval times, so I didn't know what it was like.
That's another thing that's so great. That's genius about Jim Carrey. He can make anything funny.
Yeah.
Like when they drop that big ass turkey leg off and he's just like, I love this place. He just starts fucking tearing into it like a fucking velociraptor.
They only put it in because from what I hear is Jim Carrey like, wouldn't it be funny if we set the scene in medieval times? And they're like, actually, that is pretty funny. Like nobody would do that, would they? And they're like, no.
And that's where you get the Andy Dick cameo.
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, I hooked him up with premium cable. we get to be in the show. And he's like, are we allowed to do that? And he's like, yeah. And he goes down there and they put him in full knight armor. And he's like, is this safe? And he's like, look, man, I just want the TV or whatever. He's like, I just want my fucking cable, bro.
Yeah.
Get on the fucking horse.
No. He's like, this guy isn't fucking around. I don't think this guy is fucking around. Get on the horse. And he fucking lets him go so they can joust.
He's like smoking a cigarette in the back.
Yeah.
But and then they get off the horses and he's like, this is like that episode of Star Trek with Spock. I love when he's doing this.
I love that they bring the music in to
Yes,
match it. Like
yes.
it's like they're letting us be in his insanity with him.
Like we don't need it, but we're doing it anyways.
Yeah.
And he's like, what are you, fucking crazy? He's swinging that shit at his head. He ends up taking him out and they do the thing or they raise their arms up. He's like, I think at that point he was like, this guy's going to kill me.
Yeah.
Like this guy's going to ruin
He's
my life.
absolutely insane. This scene and then like the next scene, he's like, I don't know, I should have written the scenes down. But another one is when they're having the karaoke party.
I was just about to say that's another good one.
That's another one that just lives rent free in my brain because Jim Carrey singing that fucking song just was
Done
so
by Lenny
fucking
Kravitz,
insane.
but originally done by
Yeah.
and he does was it American Girl?
I don't remember.
Oh no! Don't you want somebody to love?
Yeah.
And he's like, Lou. But yeah, that by that point when he starts singing the song, I was just like, I'm over the fucking lisp. I'm over the lisp already. Yeah, and then
And just adds to his character.
well, yeah, like I said, it's what makes it different from his other big parts. Is you had to have something to differentiate.
But Matthew Broderick character hooks up with this girl.
Yeah, smoker.
Yeah.
But he's trying to get back with his fiance or whatever. But she tells him to fuck off, doesn't she?
Well, I don't think she's in full swing yet of wanting to get back together because she's dating. It shows that she's off dating other people. So this is it's his rebound fuck is how I took it anyway.
Right. Yeah. That's what I was saying. Like he's actually starting to relax a little bit.
Yeah. He's like, we're fucking, I'm single. Let's have some fun.
Right.
But the reason I wanted to talk about this part is because in the morning, he's like, where's Heather go? He's like, oh, she's probably off working or whatever. And, but you know,
he's like, I heard, oh yeah, because like Jim Carrey's still there making breakfast.
Yeah.
Like almost like he had planned it that way.
Right. And they're eating. He's like, yeah, you can get the next one. He's like, what do you mean? He's like, I buy this time, you buy next time. What are you talking about? He's like, the girls. I bought this time. And he gets fucking furious. And he even...
He's like, don't worry, man, she's clean. I tried her out.
Exactly. As a kid, I didn't really catch that.
Yeah.
Because he's like, I'm clean. So, and I caught it this time. And I was like, oh my God, he fucked that hooker before he gave it to her, to him. And I was going to ask you, how would you... Obviously, you're married and we couldn't do this. If we were both single,
if we were both single,
and I bought you a hooker, would you be mad? I don't think you'd be that mad.
I don't think I'd be mad as long as you told me ahead of time. Like, don't let me treat this bitch like a normal person.
Don't fall in love.
Well, no, not even that. But like, I'm just saying, like, if you're paying this chick to like you, like, I'm not gonna give any fucking effort. I'm gonna treat her like shit.
Well,
like,
if you and Ashley like ended up breaking off and you were single and you were really down and I was gonna pick you up, and
I don't think I'd need you to get me a hooker. I think I'd be able to get laid. But like, yeah, I mean, I don't think I'd be like totally upset about it. Just gotta show what a piece of shit I am, right?
You're right. But to help you along, if you were down and you were over here drinking, I'm
playing it off like I wouldn't care. I would be fucking crushed if my wife left.
Right.
Took my kids and shit. Yeah, dude, I would be worse off than Matthew Broderick in this fucking movie.
But that's what I'm saying is if I bought you a hooker to like cheer you up, but I didn't tell you until afterwards, you'd be pretty upset.
Probably.
Especially if I tried her out first.
Yeah, I mean, like, you piece of shit, bro. You got me sloppy seconds on a hooker, dude. Like, we're not friends anymore.
Damn, we're not friends?
I don't know. Probably forgive you.
Yeah.
Eventually. I'll do it back to you. Yeah, you liked her? You liked her, huh? Yeah, she was cheap. She was real cheap.
Yeah.
Got 2 for 1.
You can brick in her mouth.
You know how I know that? Because I did too. Hope you didn't kiss her on the lips.
I'd be pretty mad. Okay.
But
That'd
yeah.
be pretty bad.
And even the way he's eating the eggs, dude. Hey, I tried her out.
Yeah.
She's clean.
Oh, yeah. He's holding his fork like a child.
Mm,
Full fist.
yeah, which just sets off all kinds of red flags. It's like people that eat both Pop-Tarts at once. Like, that guy's a serial killer.
You don't do that?
What? No, you don't eat them like a fucking sandwich. You do?
I mean, it's easier that way.
Explains so much. Explains so much of what's wrong with you.
I don't do that, but now that you say that, I was like, that's actually a good idea.
It's not a good idea.
It is a good idea.
There's rules to society, Greg. They give you two. You eat them one and one. You put them in the toaster and you eat them one and one.
Speaking of, I'm going to call out my wife on this one. There is this thing called the McGangbang. Do you know about this?
Yes,
Okay.
I do.
So the wife and I call them Fat Boy burgers because it's unnecessary.
Mm.
I get the Fat Boy burger and I do it right. I take my double cheeseburger apart. I put the McChicken in between them and I put it back together.
But
My wife eats them separately. She like takes them apart and eats them separately. And I was like, you're not doing it right. She's like, I'll eat it how I want to. And I was like, there are rules to this. You don't order a Fat Boy burger and do that.
no, you're just ordering a burger and a chicken sandwich.
Right, exactly.
I like the McGangbang, man. That's a better
Dude,
name.
it's if you have not.
I'm not a big fan of it because I'm a fan of the name, not the actual sandwich. Because I don't like chicken and beef together.
Have you had it though?
Yeah, I've had it like in stir fry and shit.
What the fuck are you talking about?
Chicken and beef together. Dude?
Oh! I'm talking about the McGangbang. Have you
Yes.
had
Yes,
like
I've
that?
had that. Yes.
And it's not life changing to you?
I mean, it's not the greatest thing I've ever had.
Yes, it is.
Nah, because I think that McDonald's chicken sandwiches are sad, bro. Like, you try to just get a McChicken, it's like, I'm just ordering bread and lettuce. And they just have like fried up little fucking, and it's all crunchy the first half. And then you don't actually get to the chicken until you're like on the last bite. I don't know. I'm just not a big fan of the McChickens. And they keep taking the fucking hot and spicy McChickens away, dude.
I know. They are teasing us with that shit.
Son of a bitch. Leave
If
them.
you go to the McDonald's and there is a spicy chicken there, you need to fucking get that because it's not going to be there very long.
Yes, order 20 of them.
Yeah. Just so you have them later.
They brought them back.
Put them in the freezer.
They brought them back like last year, or the year before for a little bit, and I was loving it, man. I ordered like 3 every time I went, and then like, nope, we're taking that from you.
Oh, anyway, I don't know why we're on this fucking
Yeah, it just broke off
McChicken
on a
rant,
tangent, yeah.
but so he goes to Leslie Mann's apartment because to make up to get her back with him.
That's the thing, and like that's another one that keeps pulling you back in because like you want to think like, okay, well this guy doesn't have good intentions, but then it's almost like he's a bad friend, but he's not trying to be a bad friend. Like he's trying to make it right? Like he goes.
Well, that's why you feel so sympathy is because he's like,
I know I fucked up, so I want to made it better with you.
right. He's socially awkward and he doesn't know how human interaction works, but like in his mind, this is how, you make things right.
Right, because he's only used to TVs and movie. Because like he bases his whole life out of like, TV shows.
Yeah, he was raised by TV shows.
And that's what I'm saying. Like, and that's what I probably relate to the most. Because
Mhm.
like we come from that generation, bro, where we lived by the TV.
Mine was, I didn't watch a lot of TV. Like I watched cartoons, obviously, but actually, now that I think about it, I watched a lot of TV.
I was gonna say, man, everybody had shows.
The Family Matters,
Sitcoms, yeah.
Full House,
Yep.
like so
I
many.
remember even watching ER with my mom because like she loved ER.
I never got into those shows. My family didn't watch those that much.
But yeah, every night had a different show you'd
Yeah.
watch as a family in my house. Anyways, me and my mom.
Roseanne. I really, really liked Roseanne a lot.
Oh, my wife loves Roseanne. I used to get up every morning. My mom would put Golden Girls on in the morning when we.
I love Golden Girls.
And that's how I started every morning in middle school and shit. Was thank you for being a friend. I'd be like, oh, time to get up.
Yep, Golden
I'd
Girls.
Go
is
see what the
amazing.
ladies were up to before I
Mhm.
went to school. Because in middle school you don't go till 9, so I could watch 3-4 episodes before we had to leave the house,
Mhm.
and I'd get dressed in 10 minutes and be ready to go.
Yeah,
And yeah, I watched Golden Girls for years, but yeah, that's.
mine was Garfield and Friends every morning.
Oh, when Pokemon the series came out,
Pokemon was
that was
there.
my shit every morning.
Sailor Moon. I
That
don't
was
know if
that was the afternoons.
No, Sailor Moon came on in the mornings. The only reason I know that is because I would take the bus to school, and the girlfriend at the time lived across the street, so I'd walk across the street, get a little quickie in while we watched Sailor Moon, and then go to school.
God, you were fucking in middle school?
I mean, it was like 9th grade, so
Oh.
It was high school, but it was like fake high school.
Yeah, well, I used to watch shit like that. That's how I got into anime, was Toonami.
Yeah.
In the afternoons. It was Thundercats, then Sailor Moon, then Dragon Ball Z for an hour. And then I think they'd finish it with Samurai Jack or whatever, which isn't like a real anime,
Yeah.
But
I only watched Dragon Ball Z, and Sailor Moon in the morning, but that didn't count.
I loved it.
Yeah.
Then they changed the lineup over the years, threw Gundam Wing in there and stuff like that. Then they had the midnight anime on Saturdays. I used to love that. They'd put all the shit they couldn't show, like Big O and uncensored Dragon Ball
I love
Z
that.
stuff.
I love that they act like there's a certain time slot that kids can't watch TV.
Right.
It's like after 11 p.m. It's like we can show all the tits now because the kids are asleep. It's like, no, a lot of them are staying awake.
That was probably the coolest thing that I remember about Cartoon Network, is it was one of the only kids channels that play cartoons 24 hours a day.
Yeah.
Nickelodeon would go to Nick at Night.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, that is cool because that's where I got to see like Happy Days and Charles in Charge and, Family, All in the Family, shit like that. Like,
Right.
that all played at Nick at Night, different nights. But yeah, man, when I was a kid, that was probably the coolest thing about having all the cable, is I watched every single network that had kid shows. Like every day for me had a different set. Like I would watch Doug and Nickelodeon and Hey Arnold and shit like that, and then I'd go.
We had so much TV. The more we're talking about this, more like we had so much TV to watch.
That's the whole thing I kept thinking about watching this movie. It was like I was watching it, but I wasn't really watching it because like the whole time I'm just like, damn, I remember that, and I remember that. And
Yeah.
that.
The nostalgia.
Yeah, and I think that's why people like this movie so much, because I think we all kind of grew up by the TV a little bit.
Yeah.
Back then.
100%. Yeah. And now they're being raised by streaming services, so you get to pick and choose what you want to watch, which is kind of crazy. Like, I couldn't imagine living in this day and age.
Back then,
like as a kid, like as an 11-year-old, having all these streaming services. I don't know what I would do.
It almost made movies better back then because you couldn't just watch it whenever you wanted. Like you had to wait till it was in the theaters.
Mm-hmm.
And then when you saw it in the theaters, you loved it. And then you had to wait another 3 to 4 months because it had to get released on VHS or DVD or whatever. So like, unless you kept paying to go see it at the theater, you had that time. So the whole time, if you liked the movie, you're just thinking like, man, I can't wait till that comes out.
Well, I was thinking about this recently. So when we were kids, we had the VHSs, right? And we had a handful that we watched all the time. We would watch them over and over because that was what we had. This day and age, you don't get to appreciate things. Like I even do it.
It's on to the next thing.
It's on to the next thing. Like you consume something, you're like, that was good. Then you move on to the next thing. Like we don't have the rewatchability that we used to as kids because we're not forced to.
Right.
Like we can go on to the next thing because it's just there. And it's kind of sad, we don't get to, because when you rewatch it, you see things that you didn't see before, and you get to appreciate it on a different level. Like, I don't know, it just like,
even looking for this movie, looking in my movies, I ran across 5 movies that I was like, holy shit, I haven't watched this in forever.
Yeah,
I should do this as my next movie.
Right.
And it's just like, it's crazy because like you said, that's all we do now. Well, I mean, me and you were probably been like that because we love movies so much that we got to get them in the bank.
Yeah.
It's got to get added to the list of shit I own or the list of shit I've seen.
Right.
I'd say out of all my movies, there's probably only 20 that I have never seen that I own.
Mm-hmm.
Because like I either want to watch it or I don't want to watch it enough, or it finished the set. Whatever.
Yeah, right.
So, and I'm actually probably the bad thing about collecting. I've started to become a completionist. Like I have to, like even the Rocky movies. Like I hate Rocky 5, but I need it to finish it.
Yeah.
So, but anyways, so he goes over to Leslie Mann's and he's like telling her like, oh man, it's all he talks about is you.
He doesn't shut up about you.
And she calls him and then now he's like getting freaked out because like now you're not fucking with me, now you're fucking with the people I love.
Right.
That's what he's just like, that is not fucking cool, because he comes over like to make it seem like they're gonna hang out.
Mm-hmm.
And he like fucking grabs him, and this is where like Matthew McConaughey Broderick actually shows some balls for the first time. He like grabs him, he's like, what the fuck is wrong with you? You don't go to her house, like, he's like, I'm just trying to make up for it, man.
Yeah,
like,
trying to make things right.
Yeah.
Like I made you mad, so I got you back with Robin.
he's like, that's not your job to do that, you know?
Right.
And Jack Black, he kind of sees something up with him like the whole time. He's like, so you're just hanging out with your cable guy now? Like, he's like, well, no, but well, yeah, kind of. Like,
shout out to the Soundgarden shirt. Like,
yes,
it's such a good album. And they play some of the music in the movie.
Yeah,
he's like, you ready to rock and roll? And he has the fucking old school like Soundgarden shirt. I was like, yeah. I didn't appreciate it as a kid, but I can appreciate it now.
Especially Cornell, you know?
Right. But yeah, so he's like, you're bailing on me because of Cable Guy? He's like, nah, me and Robert are getting back together, and he's all pissed off about it.
Come on, dude. Yeah. But then he calls him back and he's like, he's never even worked for the cable company, man.
Yeah, because he does a background check, and then he looks up the people that have been fired from the cable company back like 6 months or something like that, and he looks at all the names and he recognizes their fucking names from TV shows. So yeah,
because he's kind of like gone around and did this at a lot of different places.
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, he's not even told you his real name. And that's like the part where it's like creepy because it kind of shows him on the phone.
Can we talk about the fucking spider that crawls across Jim Carrey's face as he's on the phone?
Oh man,
dude, that was hands down the creepiest shot in this movie. Like, it gave me chills. How they got that shot is
a fun fact that has nothing to do with this movie, but at Home Alone, you know how
the spider,
right? That was a real tarantula.
Yeah.
Because they were like, we tried to get a fake one, but it doesn't look good. So they told Daniel Stern, like, just try not to like let it crawl in your mouth.
Yeah.
And he was like, but I'm screaming. He's like, it's like, well, if it bites you, you're probably gonna die, but you know, just kind of act it, but don't.
Tarantulas are pretty docile though. That's why people have them.
Well, supposedly they're like super venomous, but they're like their fangs can't get through our skin easily or some shit. I don't know.
Well, I know that's daddy long legs. Like,
That's
daddy
what it
long
is.
legs are
That might be what I'm
the
thinking
most
of.
poisonous spider, but their fangs are so little that they can't penetrate our skin.
That's what it is. I knew it was one spider that was like
No, I learned this about tarantulas like recently. I was helping a friend move, and then a couple of their friends were there, and they like spiders. And they were, I was like, I don't know a whole lot about spiders. They're like, oh yeah, if they get pissed off, they have barbs in their stomach that they will shoot into your skin. That is fucking painful. I was like, what?
they're Pokemon.
Yeah, right.
Pretty much. Big,
I just,
furry little Pokemon.
yeah, so that's
Thanks.
fucking terrifying.
That's nightmare fuel.
Right.
And like I said, the nightmare sequence, like the Jim Carrey running down the fucking hallway, like full fucking speed into the door.
That is the one part of this movie that legit scared me as a kid. I was like,
Yes.
this is actually terrifying. And apparently it was supposed to be a lot darker, but they had to cut some of the scenes because they were like, it's a little too
Jim
dark.
got a little into it.
Yeah, we forgot this was a comedy. Those fucking contacts, though, the glow in the dark eye contacts, like,
Yeah.
fuck.
So Matthew Broderick like wakes up in the cold sweat and he's like, I gotta get rid of this fucking guy.
Hmm.
And
They're sitting out in the rain, and this is the
Yeah.
part that we were talking about. Like, leave me alone. I do not want to be your friend. I'm all friended up. There's no more room for you.
and then that's when he's like,
Yeah.
I just wanted to be your friend. Then he start climbing the fucking tower or whatever.
Well, he calls Robin, and he's sitting in
That's
the
right.
phone tower, like, just creepily. They're just adding creep factors into it.
Yeah.
But he befriends Robin,
Mm-hmm.
and then they're going over to their parents' house,
Mm-hmm.
and lo and behold, the cable guy is there.
That's right.
And is this before or after he went to jail? Because he goes to
It's
jail.
after.
Yeah.
After.
Because he gives him this sound system, right?
Right.
He's like, I can't accept this. You need to take it away. He's like, well, my friend with the moving truck I won't have it until Saturday. So can I leave it here until then? He's like, sure, whatever.
Turns out it's stolen.
Apparently it's all stolen. And he sells him out and goes to jail. And this is the one part, for some reason, I don't know why. Maybe I have a thing for Jim Carrey. But when he puts his fucking titty on the glass, I was like, what movie is that from? I know it was Jim Carrey, but I couldn't remember what movie it was from. I thought it was Liar Liar because, reasons.
Right.
And then I saw it. I was like, oh yeah, it's this movie. Jim Carrey fucking goes for it every time. I know that had to have been improv.
Oh yeah. And it's like, it's crazy that this dude went to that much lengths just to like keep this guy in his life, or to
Mhm.
be in this guy's life. And then it's even creepier because you think, how many times did he do this to people?
Oh yeah, like
know
by
what I
the
mean?
end of the movie, you're
Right.
like, oh shit, this is like his thing. This is what he does.
Right.
But could you imagine like somebody like you, for example, when we first met, you're like, you don't know this yet, but we're gonna be best friends. And you tried to be my friend, and then I was like, no, leave me alone. And then you just tried to ruin my life just because I wouldn't be your friend.
Okay. I'll go home.
Could you imagine? There's people out there like that.
Yeah, that's what I said. I think that's why this is probably a lot of people's not favorite Jim Carrey movie, because
This is true. They probably went through it.
it doesn't give you that good feeling like at the end of Ace Ventura type thing. They saved the dolphin.
Oh no, it was supposed to be a lot darker actually.
Well,
we'll get
sure,
to it.
but, yeah, but yeah, they have the big fight like on the satellite dish,
Mhm.
which is crazy. And then when Jim Carrey falls, everybody's cable goes out. So you see how many like lives he was in, because like Andy Dick and like all the medieval people are like standing, what the hell? They're like smacking the
Fucking
TV.
cable guy.
Cable guy. And the old dude, like pretty much everybody that was at the party, the karaoke party and stuff.
hmm
And oh, that's what it was, because it was the final verdict on the Ben Stiller case.
Yeah. To see if he was guilty or not for
Right.
killing his twin brother. He was supposed to be, the original ending was he was supposed to be penetrated by the satellite and kill him.
Oh, yeah, but instead it like went around.
Yeah. But I like this ending better because that's like killing him is kind of like a cliche at this point with this
Right.
type of movie.
Yeah.
So let him live to go on to creep out somebody else for another day.
Yeah, I was gonna say, because it's almost creepier the way they do it.
Mhm.
Because the paramedics like, it's all right,
Doing
man.
all right, buddy?
I got you, buddy. You mean that?
Of course.
You're my friend. And then
Yeah.
kind of like what it's they got to pull him up on the chopper, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Did you see the little Kyle Gass cameo? The guy
Yeah.
that picks up the book.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, it's Kyle Gass.
Jack Black swung that for him.
Yep.
I wonder if he gets like a check for that. Like, do you get a check? Like, if you're like,
No,
I guess
because
they-
you're not.
credit. Yeah, we learned that from Kevin, didn't we?
Yep.
Yeah, you got to be accredited
Mhm.
or have a speaking role. That's what it is.
Yeah.
You have to speak it.
Oh, that's true. He didn't speak, so he doesn't get the credit. Thanks, Kevin, for
Shining that light on
shining
us.
that light. Now we know.
But so what do you give this movie? Like, what do you rate this movie?
Highest recommendation. It's one of my favorite Jim Carrey movies. Like,
Does it make it in your top 5?
it's hard to say. Let's see. Let's look at Jim Carrey's
I
career.
can give my top 5 for Carrie.
It's hard to say because I love Ace Ventura so much.
That's crazy. They have 4 of the 5 right there.
Right? Trying to bring up his whole filmography. Well, Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind is my number 1 favorite Jim Carrey movie.
Right. I figured that.
Yeah. So, I don't know why it's doing this.
I really wanted to watch that.
What's that?
I'm Dying Up Here.
Oh, yeah.
It's supposed to be about him when he's young,
Mhm.
getting into the stand-up comedy scene and stuff.
Yeah. I mean, Ace Ventura, and this may not be in a lot of people's top 5, but it was such a favorite of mine when I was a
Mask.
kid, is
Yeah.
The Mask.
Yeah.
Like, I love. Yeah, I'll put it in my top 5. Cable Guy.
So you got 3.
Oh, you want me to name my whole top 5?
Yeah, why not?
Ace, or Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind,
Ace Ventura,
Ace Ventura, then it's probably
Cable Guy.
The Cable Guy, The Mask, and then
What's rounding out the 5?
it'll have to be
Grinch.
Me, Myself, and Irene.
I was just about to say that's in my top 5. I love that
Yeah.
movie. Me, Myself, and
As
Irene
much
is
as I
hilarious.
love The Grinch, there's more to it than just Jim Carrey, in my opinion.
Yeah,
Like, it's
it's just
a
a great
whole,
Christmas movie too.
right? So it's, even though he does great,
Right.
like, he's not the only reason I love that movie.
And I feel like it doesn't count as much because you don't watch it whenever.
right?
Like, to me, a top 5 movie is something you could put on any day. And if it's not Christmas time, I don't care about watching the
Yeah.
Grinch. My top 5: Ace Ventura, Dumb and Dumber, Liar Liar. Did I have 4? I have 4 already?
It sounds like 3.
Yeah, Myself and Irene, Liar Liar,
Dumb and Dumber.
Dumb and Dumber, and probably I'm gonna go Yes Man.
Really?
I really like Yes Man. I think it's hilarious.
I like Yes
Honorable
Man.
mention to Batman Forever
No,
because I love him as the Riddler.
Surprised you didn't say 23.
Number 23 is good. You didn't give that movie a fair chance.
But yeah, so
Simon
like,
Birch is a super sad movie.
is
He's
it?
only in it for like 5 minutes at the end.
Mm.
That was a cameo that was out of left field at the time because he was like only doing comedies, and he comes in and gives us like really cool speech at the end, like, and you know,
No, I see.
and he's like, "Come on, Simon," and he named his son Simon after little Simon Birch.
Mhm.
Yeah, I don't know if you ever saw that movie. It's
No, I never seen
super
it.
Crazy.
What do you give this movie?
Didn't enjoy it as much this time.
Really?
I really didn't. Like I
Which
said,
it's kind of the opposite for me.
like the list. I mean, it probably shouldn't have bothered me as much, but it just got on my nerves. Still got laughs out of it. I'm gonna give it a 7.
Yeah?
I'm gonna give it a 7. Like, it doesn't make my top 5, but it's still in like probably the top 10.
Right.
And good knowing I had it on DVD in case I do want to watch it again.
Was your DVD like the 6x9?
It's just like yours, like the.
I mean, when you were watching it, did it have the black
it was
bars
like-
on
it
each
was
side?
Like, not letterbox, but yeah, like how they used to do.
And you
those.
watched it?
Yeah.
I couldn't. I had to find it on streaming services so it would be full screen.
Oh.
'Cause
I
it
watched it
bothered
like
me.
that because I wanted to watch it like I used to watch it.
That's true. I mean, yeah, that makes sense. I can't do the black bars on the side. It bothers me way too much. Like, I almost couldn't watch Justice
Well,
League.
on my whatchamacallit, on my PlayStation, I just zoom it.
They would my 4K player won't let me zoom.
Oh yeah, because
Like, I was trying
your
all
4K is like, I can't do anything to this bullshit.
Yeah.
It's that old.
Right.
I can't make this better. Just have to. You're lucky it even plays in me. You know?
For me, this was like, I loved it as a kid and I watched it a lot, but I got a new appreciation for it on so many levels. Like, a new appreciation for Ben Stiller, for Jim Carrey.
See, it was kind of opposite for me. I got a weird feeling, like, because like I'm that guy. Like, I'm the one that's always quoting shit and talking about TV and just.
You're
like,
also not stalking people.
Well, yeah, I get that, but like, I don't know, like. And then it made me think, like, do people think like that when I'm just like going off on a tangent about movies and shit? Like, do people think that about me? Like, God, this guy don't shut the fuck up.
You do get like quote happy sometimes.
Because that's the best part.
Yeah. But
People are either amazed by it or it gets on their fucking nerves.
you do have like some very like, you quote such niche things that people don't realize it's a quote. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like quoting Death to Smoochie and stuff like that. It's like, you think it's funny, but nobody else knows what you're talking about. But that's the kind of humor I have.
Yeah, because like that's the one thing about my buddy Jamie and me. Like, we all watched the same movies growing up. So when I say those off the wall fucking, like, he's one of the only like probably 3 people on earth that knows what I'm talking about.
Mhm.
You do too, you know.
Yeah.
We've seen enough movies together and apart that like you get most of my references,
Yeah.
but every now and then there's a smoochie, but it's not as much as it used to be.
Yeah.
I just couldn't believe you had seen The Pest, bro. I think me and you were like the only people that saw that movie.
Right. That's what I was so surprised about, is when I was growing up, nobody talked about The Pest. I was like, and then when I would like bring it up, we were like, what is that movie?
Well, yeah, because I think that was like one of the first conversations about movies we had was like, you saw The Pest? And I'm like, yeah, I've seen The Pest. I used to own The Pest. And you were like, get the fuck out of here. I love
Yeah,
The Pest.
Right.
And that was another one. That was another reason why we started doing it. What led us to doing this.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's like I said, it was a 7. Like, I still had a good laugh. It still had the nostalgia factor. Like, it all came in, but I don't know. Just got on my nerves a little bit.
I get that.
And it kind of got on my nerves, Matthew Broderick. I mean, because other than Ferris Bueller, that's what Matthew Broderick does. He plays the little bitchy guy,
Yeah, he's the
pacifist,
Yes.
the
straight
bully,
man.
the bullied, you know.
Mhm.
And Yeah, it got on my nerves. That one, it got on my nerves in this one, and when he did the one with Danny DeVito, the Deck the Halls, like he was such a puss in that movie.
Yeah, that like we had that comment that people are like, we don't care what you think about. Well, I don't like Matthew Broderick. Like, it's not that I don't. He just hasn't done anything that surprised me. He plays like the same thing in every fucking movie.
Yeah. I mean, he's definitely got the dad roles down now. Like,
Right.
But I just remember when he did Ferris Bueller. Like, he was just
That's his like one outlier.
like, he was just so fucking smooth, man.
Mhm.
You know?
But it is a perfect character for this movie. That's the only reason it works is because
yeah.
anybody else. Oh, fun fact. I fucking forgot. This was originally written for Chris Farley as the cable guy.
He would have done a good job, but he wouldn't have nailed the creepy.
Yeah, I don't think so either.
Nah, he wouldn't have been able to nail the creepy like Jim did.
No, it would have been wacky.
It
would have been
it probably
straight
would have
comedy.
been way cheesier. Like,
It wouldn't have been the dark comedy that we have.
right? It would have been probably a completely different movie.
Yeah, it would have been just a straight comedy.
That's so insane, dude. And you've been doing good on the fun facts, bro. I gotta give you credit on that, dude. Last week you dropped a bomb on me.
Did I?
Yeah, because I mean, I would have never in a million years thought about Jim Carrey being Edward Norton's
Oh,
brother.
yeah.
But now that you say it, like, I kind of want to see it.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like you said, it would have just been him and Robin Williams just trying to top each other this whole fucking time.
Yeah.
With the crazy.
It's really sad we never got a Robin Williams Jim Carrey movie.
It's insane. You know what's even more insane? It's a fun fact off of a fun fact, but Robin Williams tried like a motherfucker to play the Riddler in Batman Forever.
Yeah, I heard that.
And he like called Joel.
He wanted to be in a Batman movie more than anything,
Right.
and he never got his chance, and that is one of the saddest things.
He called yeah, because I guess he was like a huge comic book fan.
Yes, he wanted to be, he even tried to be the Joker in Christopher Nolan's movie.
Yeah. He said he was like, they were going to let him, like during the prison break scene in the Dark Knight Returns, or Dark Knight Rises.
Yeah.
He was supposed to be one of the, like, he was going to play a B-list villain that was like walking out of the prison,
Mhm.
but like something happened and he just wasn't able to do it. But like, yeah, they said that was like one of his only regrets in life is they never let him play a superhero or a villain or anything.
I know, he's like 10 years too late.
But and he even supposedly was willing to do it for less than
Yeah.
Jim Carrey, but Joel Schumacher just wanted Jim Carrey. He was like, this guy's he's hot as fish grease right now. I need him
Yeah.
to play the villain.
Mhm.
Well, plus Tommy Lee Jones, you figure that's going to be the serious guy, so you got to have more, cartoonish character to put with him. And I like their Two-Face and Riddler together. I think it is a good blend of, light and
It
dark.
is too wacky.
Well, I mean, those two movies are the worst Batman movies made.
Yeah.
Obviously, but Forever, I felt like held on to a little bit of the good.
It tried to.
Right. But yeah, by the time Batman and Robin came out, it was just like, all right, man,
That's off the
we're gonna have
rails.
to do something different. Like, this isn't working anymore.
Yeah, that is a tragedy though that Jim Carrey or Robin Williams never got to play something that he really wanted to.
Right, and I mean, obviously, he's got the fucking range, man. He could have been anybody. He could have done
I would have
anything.
loved to see a Robin Williams Joker.
Robin Williams Riddler, dude.
Yeah, either one.
Joker too. I think he would have made a great Joker. You imagine his laugh?
Mhm.
He's got 37 laughs he could have fucking formed together to make some kind of
It would have been
sinister
creepy as
shit,
fuck.
you know?
Yeah.
Fuck. I mean, it's might be one of those things where it's like, man, who'd you like more? Did you like Robbins or did you like Heath better?
Mhm.
It's one of those great what ifs.
Yeah,
You know
exactly.
what I mean?
Before we hit record, I wanted to say I saw Knock at the Cabin.
Yeah.
We talked about it a little bit, but I just wanted to bring it up on the podcast. Like, I really, really enjoyed that movie, and I want to say you should check it out if you have not.
Yeah. Like I said, I saw the trailer a couple times and it kind of gave me the other Cabin in the Woods movie.
Yeah.
And like I said, I'll probably watch it at some point, but I just don't know if I'll pay to see it.
Yeah. But if you're out there and you're on the fence about it, go watch it. M. Night Shyamalan, this is one of his better movies.
Yeah, and I am a big M. Night Shyamalan fan. We've talked about that too.
Mhm.
But yeah,
It's funny that we can be such a big fan of a director that has so many bad movies. I think he has more. I mean, it's probably half and half, really.
if even.
Good to bad ratio.
I only think of like 4 that I love, like really like.
Mhm.
And the
But
rest
there's
of
probably
them,
only like 4 bad ones.
Village. Some of them are so bad they should get counted as 2. The Village should definitely be one of them.
Lady in the Water.
Actually, I didn't hate that one as much.
Really?
Yeah, and I think it was because I was working at Muggs, so I saw it like 12 times. And
It
like,
grew on you.
yeah, I think it's what it was. It was like, I don't hate it. I just don't like it, you know? And
Some
Paul
people-
Giamatti did a good job in it.
Some people like actively hate that movie.
No, I get it. Like, there's a lot to hate. Like, I get it. Yeah.
You're like, I'm not defending it.
No, not at all. Same thing with Pan's Labyrinth. Like, I hated Pan's Labyrinth the first 3 times I saw it. But after my 12th watch, because nobody was ever in the fucking theater seeing that bitch, but it was a 3-hour
So you're
movie.
going to finally admit you like Pan's Labyrinth?
I like it enough that I could make it through it. But that's about it, dude. Like,
I love Pan's Labyrinth.
yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong, bro. The imagery and the effects and stuff for the time and everything, like, it's visually stunning to look at.
I want to revisit it so bad.
It's what got Guillermo del Toro, like,
oh yeah,
put him in
that's
that
it. Put his
atmosphere that
name in the skies.
This guy can do whatever he wants.
Because I didn't know who he was until Pan's Labyrinth, and I was like, "Oh, this is a guy to keep your eye on."
Everybody just thought he could only do horror, and
Mhm.
like, I mean, shit.
His
I-
horror show on Netflix is pretty good. Well, I mean, it's him presenting it, but
Right.
it's
I don't even want to watch that Pinocchio movie he made, man.
too.
It looks
should do it.
dumb.
Oh, I want to go to the movies and do a movie,
What movie?
a new movie that's coming out, because I have a lot of like tickets.
Cocaine Bear.
Yeah. How'd you know?
I
Because that's
just-
the only one that matters.
Well, I mean, I've been
I
seeing
saw
the
the
trailer.
I saw the previews again last night when I saw Knock at the Cabin, and I looked over at the wife. I was like, I think I'm gonna take Nick to this movie and we're gonna review it because it's so ridiculous.
Dude, the only thing that made me want to watch this movie, or 2 things that made me want to, one, Ray Liotta's last movie.
Yeah,
Poor guy. But like, I want to see what he does. And 2, I want to see. I loved the trailer when they mashed it with fucking White Lines by Grandmaster Flash and
Mhm.
Furious 5. And she's like, "What's this bear on?" And he jumps and it's like, hiya, baby. And then like the bear's getting closer, and then it goes, cocaine bear. And I'm like, fuck it, man, they got me. I'm gonna watch this now.
right.
So yeah, dude, I'm down. We can your next pick if you want to do it. We can do it.
Why is it gonna be my pick?
Because I'm not picking that shit. I wasted my pick on that shit.
But yeah, I want to do that when it comes out. But what is your pick for next week? Because you have not told us yet.
Yes, I was thinking on it, and like we've been keeping it great with the comedies, but I really want to do this gangster movie, bro. And it is Things to Do in Denver When You're Dead.
Oh, okay. I've been wanting to watch this.
I've mentioned this movie to you a couple different times.
Yeah,
and I keep teasing it in the canister, but like I saw it last night when I was looking for Cable Guy, and I'm like, yep, we're doing that.
Things to Do in Denver When You're Dead. I think I put it on my Amazon wish list.
Yeah, you're probably gonna have to search for it because I don't. I found this movie at the flea market about a month ago, and I was like, I can't believe this was on DVD. It was one of the grails I had because I've never seen it like out. I don't think it's even got like a Blu-ray or anything.
Oh, it's $10 on Amazon.
Is it? Is
Yeah.
it a Blu-ray?
No, it's just a DVD.
Damn, Amazon. They get you every time.
VHS also.
Yeah, I don't think I'd watch it on VHS.
I don't think it came out on Blu-ray. I don't see a Blu-ray release.
So that's like a rare movie I got.
Nope. But I hear people talk about it
It's so good. Dude.
regularly.
You want to talk about all-star cast, man? Fucking some heavy hitters in that one. You got Walken. You got Christopher Lloyd. You got Garcia. You got Steve Buscemi. William Young. A lot of people in that movie.
I'm excited to see it because it is one of those that, has been on my to-watch list for a while. So
Yeah, I'm excited. But this one thing, it will break our comedy trend because it is a straight-up fucking gangster movie.
that's fine. I'm keeping on the comedy thing though. I have a few movies that I want to do. I'm trying to figure out, like, I've done some well-known comedies. I really want to dive into like the lesser-known comedy
Right.
bin of things that people don't really talk about unless you're in that niche.
Yeah.
Like The Greasy Strangler.
What?
The Greasy Strangler.
Oh, God, I've never...
Yeah, you've never heard of that.
Low budget, huh?
I guess.
Do you recognize anybody in the movie?
No.
Okay.
I mean, yes, but it's like,
Straight to DVD shit.
right.
I got you. Cocaine Bear is going to be like the highlight.
Yeah. You're going to have like a relief from Cocaine or with Cocaine Bear from the movies I want to give you.
Thank God for Cocaine Bear. But yeah, there was a couple comedies I was thinking about picking. Like, I wanted to do Pluto Nash because when we were talking to Kevin about it, like it's not great, but
I've never seen it, and
I think it's funny as shit though.
I kind of want to see it just because it's there.
And then part of me wanted to do Jay and Silent Bob Strikes Back for whatever reason. Just wanted to.
You still have Clerks 3?
Yeah. Well, I mean, we never did Reboot either.
No.
We've never done Mallrats, and I've been wanting to do Mallrats but it's like one of those ones like I know it's just there.
Since we're talking about it, I really wanted to do Yoga Hosers. I want to make us sit down, watch it, and then discuss what happened.
I've never made it past 10 minutes.
That's what I'm saying. Neither have I.
It's impossible.
I tried really hard, but there's this one part that I have to turn it off. But it's like, what if I picked it and we had to sit down and we had to watch the whole movie?
It's
and
probably
then
the only
discuss
time watching a Kevin Smith movie would hurt.
Yeah.
Like, it would actually hurt my soul.
Right. It would be the only one because any other movie we do, it would be like, yeah, that's a Kevin Smith movie. But Yoga Hosers is like...
I could even get through Tusk.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But Yoga Hosers is just so fucking bad.
That's why it would be. That's why it'd be an interesting pick.
But I liked Red State. You know, people shit on Red State.
But it's not a comedy.
Oh, no,
it's
God,
a straight
no, it's not.
fucking serious movie.
It's like a thriller.
I don't care for it, but I think I need to revisit it.
And I think it's a great John Goodman cameo.
Oh, 100%.
He killed that shit.
John Goodman is a national treasure.
I could listen to John Goodman narrate my life.
Yes, 100%. I was just going to say, like, I want to take his, because he has monologues in movies, and I just want to make a John Goodman monologue supercut because, like, there's one quote from Death Sentence that you say,
Go with God, bag full of guns.
Like, I love that.
That's what I should have picked. Fuck. Damn it. You could have said that 5 minutes ago? Shit.
You can change your pick.
No,
it's not set in stone.
No, I'm doing things to do in Denver.
Well, you can use it for your next pick.
I'm doing this sentence next time. Write that down. I'm going to write that down.
I'll take Death Sentence out. I'll put it in here and remind you.
There you go.
Because I would love to do. I've only seen it the one time.
It's been a while since I've seen it too.
I bought it on DVD. I watched it and I was like, I love this movie, but like it's one of those movies it's not one you want to go back to a lot.
Well, it is sad.
Yeah, it's
you know, but I'd be right there with him. Like my family.
But
those dudes were savages.
Right.
They needed to be put down.
But I don't have a whole lot more. You got anything else you wanted to discuss or?
Saw Avatar 2.
Oh, right. You did say that, didn't you?
Go give it a watch, folks.
No.
Pretty good. And Wind River.
Wind River. Oh,
Wind River,
I forgot.
Baby.
Let me look that up while you're talking about it because I want to check it out.
We want to give Jeremy Renner well wishes. We hope you get better soon. I watched your movie last night, bro. I fucking loved it. You're more than Hawkeye, dude. You're more than Hawkeye. Don't let him tell you that.
I'm glad you said something again because I saw a preview for a movie that I was not excited about and I should be. I'm going to tell you who directed it. It was directed by Guy Ritchie. It stars Jake Gyllenhaal. I should be excited about this, Sam. Shouldn't I? I'm not excited at all.
What is it?
It's a war movie. This guy, he's going to the Taliban and he has a translator with him. He ends up, something happens and they get ambushed by the Taliban and
sounds like Lone Survivor so far.
And the translator risks his life to save Jake Gyllenhaal, but he ends up getting captured. The translator gets captured. So Jake Gyllenhaal feels like it's his duty to save this guy. So he goes back into the Taliban to save this guy. That's really all I know from the trailer. But it doesn't look interesting to me. I don't like war movies.
I don't either, but that sounds good though. Sounds different.
Anyways. I mean, it's Guy Ritchie. Like,
yeah. I did hear that Gentleman 2 got greenlit.
Oh yeah,
that they're doing it. They're coming back, so we're gonna get to see more of Mickey. And what he's doing.
I'm fucking excited about that.
Ah man,
that's the only Guy Ritchie I want to watch. Like, I hate putting him in a bottle or in a bag or in a box.
He
like,
just I want gangster movies. There's nothing wrong with that. If I was a director, that's all I would do, man.
Right.
I might throw out a comedy once every fucking 10 years, but like, yeah, bro, it would be straight gangsta shit. Bro.
It's just like Guy Ritchie is a genre. He's not even a director. He's a genre. And that's what I want to see.
I back that sentence and I fucking approve that message, dude. Like, Guy Ritchie is that dude, like, if you get to hang out with him, bro, you just know you're going to do something cool.
Right.
We're going to go and race cars. We're going to shoot guns and shit. We're just going to do man shit. You know what I mean?
100%.
And I'm okay with that. You know, Jason Statham's just going to show up and karate chop you at some point. Like, it's going to be the best time of your life.
Fucking Jason Statham's here?
I'm always here. I've got a job to do, don't I?
That's pretty good.
Yeah, thanks. I've been working on it.
I was going to say.
I've been working on it.
But yeah, I don't have anything else.
Yeah, man, it was a good episode down memory lane.
Yeah, I'm glad I revisited this. I'm going to revisit Cable Guy more often.
And it made me think of my creepy Cable Guy story. So, I mean,
that was a great story.
It was productive, you know. I thought about trying to turn that into a bit, you know.
You should, 100%.
Or like do like one of those animated like cartoons while I'm telling the story.
Yeah.
You know, this guy keeps fucking showing up. Like, and he did for like fucking 3 weeks. Got weird.
It's definitely like your son with the glasses.
Yeah.
The Cable Guy story. Like, you have so many bits that you need to like flush out and get on stage.
Do my one man show.
Yeah. You should start doing that on TikTok. Like, why don't you do that? Like, tell these stories on TikTok.
Because nobody gives a shit, bro.
Okay. I give a shit.
Well, I'm saying, but I tell you.
Yeah.
Because I know you'll appreciate the story. There's like 5 people that I would tell that story to, and I know it would get a laugh that it needs, you know, but like, I don't know. And I'm more of like off the cuff. So like, if I took that little bit from our show and used it, I probably could. But if I like sat down and that was my whole purpose was telling the story, I'd probably fuck it up.
Maybe, but you could like
if I worked
massage it and make it into like, because that's what Bert Kreischer did with the machine story. Is like, it was an interesting story, but he like punched it up to make it like his fucking signature story.
But you know what's crazy about that is that's the only version of that joke I watch is his original one. The first time he did it.
Yeah.
Because like the other times he kind of leaves little details here and like sprinkles in something else over here. But the original one that he did off the special that nobody gave a fuck about until that shit blew up on YouTube.
Yeah.
Like that's why I think I like Bert Kreischer so much, bro. Is like he literally, like he seems like he'd be the coolest fucking dude to hang out with.
I think about Bert Kreischer more than I probably should.
Yeah.
I think about him because
I think about him and Tom Segura's relationship together. Like that's fucking friendship goals, bro. I want us to get there one day.
Right.
Like,
but I just don't feel like Bert Kreischer is the most talented guy.
No, but he's all heart, man. And
right.
You root for him because he just seems like a fucking genuinely good guy.
Because you see yourself, like, if you were successful, you feel like you would be the Bert Kreischer, like partying all the time, but also working. He's a hard worker. Yeah. I won't take that away from him.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. But that's what's great about him and Tom when they do stuff together. It's like Tom is you. Like, as far as like, he's going to make sure like we got our things. We got our talking points. And then Bert's just over there fucking going off.
Yeah.
On tangents.
He's just being Bert Kreischer.
And that's what Tom does. Tom brings him back. You know? And then the way they make each other laugh is fucking gold, man.
Yeah.
Like, I could watch 3 minutes of sound of just them laughing about some dumb shit that they're talking about.
The fucking Kool-Aid, I know everyone knows about the Kool-Aid story. Like, it's one of the funniest things that's ever happened on Two Bears in One Cave. But like, as it was happening, I was like, this is pretty funny. But then when they were laughing about it for fucking 5 minutes straight, I started laughing because they were laughing.
Because Tom can't breathe, and then he's like, it's a fucking, you know, Bert gets to that point where he can't talk because he's laughing.
But yeah, when they get on their kicks and they're laughing, it makes me fucking laugh just because it's contagious.
That's what I'm saying, because that's why I said that's friendship goals right there. Like, those two guys could literally sit in a room together and make gold doing absolutely nothing.
Since we're here, have you heard of The Basement Yard? It's the same thing. It's just two guys and they just tell some stupid ass fucking stories.
No, I never heard of.
I'll have to check out The Basement Yard. Like, I mean, they don't really need our push. They're pretty big. They're like #1 comedy podcast right now.
Really?
But these dudes, they're on TikTok and they have these clips from their podcast. They're actually really fucking funny and they're another like goals kind of thing.
All right.
I'll show you one of their clips because they're fucking funny.
I'll have to check that out.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, I'm excited for next week because this movie, it's so good and like it's one of them ones that like you don't see it. You don't hear about it a lot.
Yeah, I hear about it in passing.
It's another hidden gem, I feel like.
Well, things to do in Denver when you're dead.
Yeah, it's the longest title ever.
I was gonna say
second longest title after Eternal Sunshine Forever.
Well, until then.
Later, y'all.
Later.